for the most part of the first 2 years of my career. And even now, to be honest, I question, it's like, am I cut out for this, really?
What do you feel like you're sacrificing at this stage of your career? I know that's a big question.
I'm working hard for my money and I'm able to do so. It's like,
I'm
just gonna treat myself.
Yes, you will!
Like, worrying about what other people think of you, or worrying about how well you're doing, and like whether you deserve to be here, is really exhausting.
Hi everyone! If you're new here, my name is Jamie and I post videos every Sunday. So I'm very excited about today's video because, as you can tell, I'm joined by one of my very close friends, Jennifer, aka Jenn. So I have received a lot of DMs on Instagram and comments on my YouTube videos where people have asked me to talk about student life and career decisions. And I thought, because I'm blessed with so many friends in different fields and really interesting positions, that I would have some career chats and talk about their student lives and their career decisions. So please let me know in the comments if you would like to see more episodes. I would love to do this series for you guys. Let me know and let us get on with the video. Jennifer is in her late 20s. She is a kick-ass lawyer in a corporate firm. It's an international law firm. I'm gonna give a little intro of how me and Jennifer met. I think you might disagree with parts of the story, but
I'll interject.
Yeah. So Jenn and I met in the first year of law school. We actually met at orientation. Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
Yes, super clearly.
Okay.
We were in the lecture theater and it was the orientation part. I met Jennifer. She was sitting next to me and we just had a really casual chat. And I was like, oh my God, I'm vibing so much with this girl. And I remember we even talked about Jenn on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh my God, I don't know if you watch Jenn, but you look like her. And then you were like, oh. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to, like, you know, catch up with you and go out for coffee with you. And then at the end you were like, okay, it was really nice meeting you, bye. And then 2 years later, met again in third year and we had a similar subject together, and then we really bonded, and then we started grabbing coffees together, and then we started working out at the apartment that we used to live in. Yeah, so we became gym buddies, and then it just like fostered into this beautiful friendship, and now it's, what, 4 years later? Oh yeah, it's 4 years since graduating, and yeah, Jennifer is obviously one of my closest friends, and that is how we met. Do you want to give a little intro of yourself, a little bit about your undergrad studies, where you're at in your career, and maybe a little bit about what you like to do outside of work?
Yep, sounds good. So I studied commerce at the University of Melbourne, and that was my undergrad degree, and then after graduating from commerce, I went straight into law with Jamie, and then I graduated law school.
We survived.
And now I'm working as a lawyer at an international law firm in the firm's corporate and mergers and acquisitions team.
You're a real everyday lawyer.
Yeah. I didn't feel like one, but apparently I am.
You're breaking the stereotype.
Yeah. In terms of interests I have outside of law school, apparently outside of work, I enjoy going on long walks. I like running, watching Netflix, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Brain numbing activities. Catching up with friends, seeing family, and drawing and painting from time to time.
Yeah. Jenn's a really talented artist. Is your artist Instagram account public?
It is public.
Oh my God! Okay, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Yeah.
I only have like 30-something followers, so I'm expecting a huge
Come on,
surge.
yeah, let's go, 32. Okay, thank you so much for the little intro.
You're welcome.
So let us backtrack. I wanted to ask you what your parents do and whether you have any lawyers in your family.
So my parents, They've recently retired. Huge. But so they used to have their own little family business. So designing and manufacturing kitchens and cabinets. It was literally just my parents and at most at one point there was like 2 employees. So it was a very small business. And they started that after they got married. So they immigrated to Australia maybe like 30 plus years ago, around 30 years ago, and then they got married, they started that business, and that's just what they had done.
Yeah, like, that's amazing. Could they speak English very well when they moved over?
No.
Wow,
yeah, so it was, I mean, I can only imagine how tough it must be. To be honest, I can't even imagine. Yeah. But it must have been very tough. And so that's what they do. Well, they did. Earlier this year, they sold their business, and
that's huge.
They are now enjoying retired life. My mom is growing tomatoes all over the garden.
That's so cute. No, I was gonna say her last name, but I won't. Mama Jenn.
You know what? Yeah, I think she'd like that. There are no lawyers in my family. There are actually no one working in professional services at all.
Yeah.
I was actually the first person in my family to graduate from uni.
Oh my god, that's incredible. Oh my god, your parents must be so proud.
They were pretty proud of achievement.
Go for it. M&A. When did you decide you wanted to study law?
I think maybe around year 10. Year 10 or 11, I would say.
Yeah.
It wasn't my first choice. I feel like initially until around year 9 and 10, I had always wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
It was like my childhood dream.
Oh.
My parents had this photo of me. I I was like 10 and I made like a nurse outfit with paper. And there was like this big red cross at the front, and I was like holding scissors, which is terrifying. But then we did like chemistry and science subjects, like compulsory subjects at during high school, and I was just so terrible at anything science related. So I felt like during year 10, when I was thinking more seriously about what I wanted to do at uni and what I wanted to be when I grew up, I realized that my skill set probably was more suited to law. And honestly, it's not a very inspirational reason, but at that time, I was also very attracted to the glamour of being a lawyer.
The suits life.
The suits life. I wanted to wear heels, wear like fancy suits. And,
but now we're like, that's so uncomfortable, and we hate that shit.
Exactly. Like
so
literally,
funny.
I'm just wearing casual clothes in the office all day, every day. It's allowed.
It's like, just like, who's this slob in the office? Oh my god. And then, so what made you choose commerce for undergrad?
Yeah, so originally I was planning on doing commerce and law, the double degree at Monash.
Oh, right,
But I got an offer from Melbourne Uni. Yeah. And so I just went with Melbourne Uni. Yeah. But with Melbourne Uni, you have to do an undergrad before you can study law.
Did you have like an assured pathway spot? Is that what it's called? Yeah, we had that at UWA. So I did my undergrad in UWA and was supposed to do law at UW.
Oh, that's why I decided to go to Melbourne Uni and study commerce. Although now reflecting back, I wish I had chosen arts instead of commerce.
Interesting. Okay,
I felt like I chose to study commerce because like I was like, okay, commerce is more practical. Yeah. If I don't make it in the legal profession, I can like be an accountant. I can like work at a Big Four.
Honestly, it's so interesting hearing you say that because I did an arts undergrad, and when I look back on it, I was like, wow, I really did not think about what if I don't want to be a lawyer like 10 years down the track. I was like, I love learning about history, so one of my majors was history, even though I knew I wasn't going to be a historian. And now when I look back on it, I was like, maybe I should have studied commerce, like something more practical.
But see, that was my train of thought. Yeah. But now looking back, the 3 years of commerce was honestly just a black hole in my life. Because I didn't enjoy it, I really didn't take away much from the degree. I feel like studying something that you enjoy, there's always going to be particular skills that you take away because, you're just like so passionate about the learning. For example, like even with studying history, there would be like writing skills. You'd be developing that, like critical thinking. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like we always look back and think about the other pathway.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to dig deep into Jenn's law student life, if you haven't blocked out those years already. And I would love to know, what was your experience like in law school? What did you enjoy? What didn't you enjoy? Yeah, let's get into it.
Thanks, Jamie. To start with one of my biggest regrets about law school. I do wish that I had more actively participated in law school life. Yeah. So not only participating in class, but also extracurricular activities and making more friends in law school and actually making an effort to socialize. Yeah. I feel like for me, I am still very introverted, and so I literally just went to law school. Yeah. I went to class, and then I would go straight home after class, or I would go to the library to study. So that is one of my biggest regrets. Yeah. I feel like it would have been a much more worthwhile experience if I had been a more active participant in law school.
So what are some of the things that you enjoyed? Going home.
Not to say that the experience was negative. I just feel like it wasn't like good or like extremely fun or extremely bad. It was just like an experience for me. But what I did really enjoy was all the IP subjects I did. I loved copyright and designs, and I also really loved patents and trade secrets. So I feel like studying those two subjects was the highlight of my law school degree.
Do you do any IP in your current job?
So I'm currently in the corporate team. Occasionally we'll have like clients come to us for advice on a particular like question, and it might like touch upon IP.
Intellectual property.
Yes. And usually we would refer that to the IP specialist. But if it's just like an easier question that we could like do research on and prepare an advice for, then I will have the opportunity to like help with that, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
I really enjoy it. Actually, during my annual review, so one of the things I not requested, but I expressed my interest in IP.
That's
so
great.
The partner who's amazing, the partner I work with, he was like, in the future, if there's anything IP related that comes our way, I'll like
that's awesome.
Let you know. And
I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I feel like it's good to like voice what you enjoy doing, because people aren't gonna know what you enjoy doing unless you tell them.
I did the same like with my own manager. So I was like, really love employment law. And then from that point on, like all the employment law careers came to me first. I'm like, that was brilliant. Yeah. And then I was like, I love working for these clients. And so anything that came from them was to me. It was so good.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
So sometimes.
Good. Yeah. Such a lawyer thing to say. Asterisk.
Terms and conditions apply.
This is not legal advice. Oh my God. I would love to know about your experience finding a job. You know, like internship experience, clerkship experience, most stressful time in my life. Honestly, for me, it was so hectic. Yeah.
So it all started in the penultimate year of law school. Yeah. That's when all the stress. That's when the real stress of law school started. Yeah. Like study was stressful, but it was manageable.
Yeah, exactly.
It was still within your control. Yeah. Applying for jobs was another level.
Yeah. So I'll give some context for like non-law students. So we're doing the postgrad degree, so that's 3 years, and the penultimate year is your second last year before you graduate, and that's when people start applying for clerkships either at the end of their second year or sometime in their final year. And that's the easiest way to get a grad job because you're doing an internship, they see how you work, you can impress them, make those connections, and then you wait to see if you get a grad offer.
Yeah.
But yeah, just giving that context.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah,
yeah, so during the second last year of law school, we started applying for clerkships. I think usually around this, like, April?
Yeah, start of the year.
Yeah, and I applied widely, and I spent a lot of time in the cover letters and the applications, and I didn't get any clerkship offers in my second last year.
Yeah.
I did apply for a vacation program, so like an internship with EY, which is one of the big four accounting firms.
Yeah.
Accounting professional services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Consulting firms. And I didn't get any legal clerkships, but I got a position with EY.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did over the summer break of my second last year of law school. And then I applied again for clerkships during my last year of law school, which I think some people do, but it's not. I feel like usually you do clerkships in your second last year.
Because you extended your degree, right?
Yeah.
So you did 3.5
I did
years.
3.5. Yeah. So my second round of applications, I got one clerkship offer, and I did that. It was a great experience. It was in a disputes team. But honestly, I don't think we did much meaningful work. It was really just a fun time.
Yeah. What was it?
It was
3
weeks,
I
think. Which really isn't much time for you to really get stuck into anything.
So in and out, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Especially after like orientation and then there's like goodbye drinks and like
that's the whole last week.
Yeah, so that was the clerkship.
Yeah.
Clerkship applications. In terms of applying for grad jobs, I applied for grad jobs in my last year, and I only got one offer, which is where I'm at now.
All you need is one, baby.
All you need is one.
Living proof.
But really, applying for jobs was the most stressful time. I think that especially the final year.
Yeah. I feel so like triggered. There are so many law schools in our state churning out thousands and thousands of law students every year that are all fighting for the same spots. You can have great grades, all the extracurriculars, spend hours on your cover letter, your resume, and it's honestly like a lot of it comes down to luck, a great fit, etc. How do you set yourself apart from other people who have excellent grades and excellent experiences and all of that? I just thought it's really tough, I think. And you hear of stories where recruitment peeps will throw out like an application if they spot like one mistake. It came down to that level of detail. And I always heard that kind of story in law school, and I was like, I don't believe it. Like, surely not. But then when I was working in an office and they were trying to decide on their grads, they did that. It came down to it where it was like 300 applications for one spot. And if there was a grammatical error in your cover letter, like, you're out. Because they have to find ways to distinguish candidates. And unfortunately, like, since writing and attention to detail are big parts of the role, it's actually an easy way to filter out applicants. But it's quite heartbreaking to be on the other side when you have so much to offer and it came down to like a comma.
I still remember the day I was working as a legal assistant at like a superannuation fund at the time. And I got the email whilst I was working, and I was in tears because like you mentioned, it's so tough, like the entire process. So when I got that offer, I'm like, I just need one.
Rejoice. I know, I feel you. So you did the internship at EY. How long was that for?
That was for 8 weeks. So that was a very chunky internship. Yeah.
And how did you find that?
I honestly did quite enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I I think mostly I enjoyed the people I was working with. They were incredibly nice, and even though I was only a vacationer and only there for like 8 weeks and then I'm going to be gone, I found that the senior manager and the manager I was working closely with, they still invested a lot of time into teaching me, even though they knew that I'd be like gone in a matter of time. But so I was tempted to continue there after graduating, especially because it was so competitive in the legal profession and so tough to find a job. I think that EY was kind of my backup plan, not in the sense that I don't think working there is just like great, but I had always wanted to be a lawyer. It's like that was my ultimate goal.
Your pathway.
That was my pathway, but I enjoyed EY so much. So it was a tough decision.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very enjoyable time. And actually after I finished the vacationer program, I stayed on to work part-time as an intern. Yeah. Nice. Which was a great experience.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I feel like staying on a bit longer also gave me more of an opportunity to really assess, is this maybe what I would rather do? Yeah.
Do you feel like it's something you could do in the future?
I don't think that, I mean, it's a possibility, but I think I prefer like working as a lawyer.
Nice.
Also, anything that kind of like borderline touches upon numbers still confuses me.
I feel you, girl. I know.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I feel like I would rather. Yeah, and I'm happy.
That's great. Guys, a happy lawyer! I found one!
Oh yeah, I'm content.
Yeah. Backtracks. That's so funny.
I mean, I feel like working as a lawyer, and I'm sure, I mean, you understand, it's a stressful profession. Especially, I feel like, I mean, law school is great, and you learn a lot of content, but I personally found that when I started working, what hit me the hardest was realizing that I actually knew nothing. And a lot of the work was really learning on the job.
Yeah.
So you do feel kind of unprepared. I certainly did.
Yeah. I really felt that.
And a lot of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
For the most part of the first 2 years of my career. And even now, to be honest, I question, it's like, am I cut out for this, really?
Yeah. See, this is coming from an M&A lawyer. See, like, a lot of people feel imposter syndrome, and I think it's really good to talk about it. This is one of my later questions, but I would love to just ask you now. How do you deal with that? And how do you manage that on, like, a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
But, this was actually one of the pieces of advice that one of my mentors, who's very close to my heart, she told me so she was my supervisor during my first rotation, which happened to be the corporate team, and she told me to open a happy folder in my email inbox.
Yeah.
So
you told me this, and I did it, and I use it all the time. It's so good.
It's really good. It's essentially a folder in your email inbox, or it can be anywhere really, but a folder where you store all of the positive feedback that you receive. And I find that when I start to doubt myself, or when I'm questioning myself, or when I feel like I don't deserve to be here, it's like I'm really just an inadequate, incompetent person who got here by sheer luck. I just like go to that folder and I read through the positive feedback that I've received, and it sounds kind of cocky.
I really don't think so. No. It's like owning your good feedback. You're doing good work, and you should be proud of it.
Yeah. I think I agree. Like owning your accomplishments and really celebrating all of the small, all of your achievements and accomplishments, however small. I feel like it's really important to cultivating that self-confidence.
For sure.
I've also found that over time, the frequency and how strongly I feel that sense of imposter syndrome has gradually lessened. With experience and with just, I guess, developing the self-confidence and having the happy folder. And I think something else was like worrying about what other people think of you, or worrying about how well you're doing and like whether you deserve to be here is really exhausting. It's really exhausting. And when I catch myself spiraling into those thoughts of self-doubt, I try to just remember it's like I just need to do my best. And put my best effort into each task and seek out the constructive feedbacks to be constantly improving, not take like negative feedback too personally because no one is getting everything right 100% of the time. And there's never going to be a point where you know everything or you know exactly the perfect way to do everything. You're always going to be learning. So.
I remember when we were like first starting as grad babies, we would just have no idea what we're doing, and then we would come back to work and like see that our stuff has been completely marked up.
I would get the comment bubbles on the side of my document, and it would just be ... question mark.
Honestly, that's so savage.
Or like, I'm confused. And like, me too.
It's like, girl, you don't know because I didn't know. That's so funny. Like you see all of that marked up. And I try to think when someone is marking up your work, you should never feel bad because they have so much experience. Like, they have more than 5 years of experience. They're showing you what they know through their edits. And I feel like that's the value that they bring. Because if they're not marking up your work, you should have their job. You know what I mean? Like, how can a grad lawyer compare to a lawyer with 10 years experience? If they don't have anything to say, that is quite concerning, honestly. And that is 100% how you learn. And I think as long as you have that attitude that Jenn definitely did, like focusing on improving, bringing your best self to work, only trying your best, I think that's a really productive way to go about your work. And also I think people who work with you see that kind of attitude and really value that because you can't teach attitude. You can't teach someone to want to care about their job.
It's more important to try your best. And to be enthusiastic about what you're doing and to be enthusiastic about learning from your mistakes than it is to be perfect because no one's going to be perfect.
So true. Like, it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. It's about not making the same mistake twice.
Exactly.
So about your grad year, I would love to know a little bit about your rotations, what you enjoyed, what you gravitated towards.
So at the firm I'm at is 2 years in total with 4 rotations, 6 months each. I rotated through firstly the corporate and M&A team. So we call that the transactional services team, but it's corporate and M&A. And then through finance and projects. So they're kind of combined into one team. And then my third rotation was construction advisory and disputes, which is essentially our litigation and disputes team, but we focus only on the infrastructure and energy sector and the construction sector, rather than commercial litigation generally. And then my fourth rotation was kind of a mix of corporate and disputes work. So the fourth rotation was an opportunity for us to go back and do more work for the teams that we were contemplating potentially settling in, just so that we could like refresh our memories of like whether we enjoyed that work or not.
Nice. Okay, so you did those 4 rotations and you decided to settle in corporate. Can you talk us through how you made that decision, what pulled you to corporate, and what kind of matters you're working on now?
So I think I had pretty much settled on corporate in my mind after doing the initial rotation with the corporate team.
Was that your first one?
It was my first rotation. So
you know.
I think firstly was the people. I really enjoyed the people, working with the people in the corporate team. I liked that it was a really small and tight-knit team. And I just got along really well. I felt like I fit in, and I felt comfortable being myself, which is like, it's a minor point considering I feel like maybe the decision should have been more so based on the nature of the work. But for me, I just felt so comfortable in that team being myself that it was kind of
That's
a
huge.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
But now, having done more work with the team, I've realized that I also do really enjoy the type of work that we do.
Yeah.
So I feel like working in corporate, we do a range of things. So there's the majority of our work is advising on M&A deals, so mergers and acquisitions. And then we also do provide general corporate advice. So on like specific questions, which can be very varied. Like, for example, it might be a question about misleading and deceptive conduct. Something I recently did, actually, we got a request by one of the American airline companies. And they're like, we're considering like starting this promotional campaign. It's like, would this be appropriate under Australian law? And it's such a general question, but I guess when you boil it down, it's mainly misleading, deceptive conduct and any codes that apply. So I feel like, and then before that, we were advising a social media company on the data security and privacy obligations, and not data security, I apologize, internet safety, so digital safety queries. So I feel like the nature of work can be very, very varied. And no 2 days are the same. Also, I really enjoy advising on mergers and acquisitions. I feel like it's an opportunity. Each deal is an opportunity to learn something about a completely different industry to the legal profession that you're working in. So depending on the client and like what company, what industry they work in and what company they're acquiring. As part of the due diligence phase, you do all that research into the industry, into understanding what laws and obligations apply to them. And it can be very interesting. For example, one of the first deals I worked on was we were advising a frozen potato chip manufacturing and distribution. It's so random. But, and then one of the more recent deals that just completed, we were advising a UK listed company who operate in the health technology sector on the acquisition of an Australian company who provide video consultation services to hospitals. And it's just like a totally different industry, but I feel like that's the nature of M&A deals, I guess. Like, depending on the deal you're on, it can be so different and varied. And I guess also there's that opportunity to work with a lot of different people outside of your immediate team. So, for example, we might be working with the client's tax and financial advisors, engaging with employment lawyers or IP lawyers within the firm to like provide advice on particular aspects of the deal.
Because there are some teams that just like stick within their own team, right, and never like venture out and collaborate with other team members. Nice.
So I think that opportunity to like collaborate, like you said, with different parts of the firm, different team members is really enjoyable.
That's really cool. And I like being a corporate and M&A lawyer. I know you have a heavy workload. Can you tell us about your work-life balance and how you manage your workload? Cries. Just cries. Work-life balance.
It's a myth. No, it's not.
She's okay.
I just need a moment. The workload definitely ebbs and flows. There'll be times when the team is just really, really busy, especially before a deal completes, like a settlement happens, or before a particular report is due. It can be a lot of late hours, a lot of long hours. Late hours, that doesn't make sense. A lot of long hours
I'm like,
and
that
late
makes
nights.
sense to me.
sometimes working on weekends, because I feel like, especially when we're advising on deals, we're also working towards the client's timeline. So it's really whatever you need to do to get the job done.
Yeah.
But I feel like at least the team I'm working with, they appreciate that, like, their team members are working really hard for periods of time, and then after that, sometimes we need, well, not sometimes, we need a break. So I feel like when, for example, for me, when I put in a request for annual leave, like, I do so like 1 or 2 months in advance. So I know, okay, this deal's going to complete on the 15th. I'm going to put in a request to take leave the week after, just to give myself a few days of downtime, because
it's really good.
Yeah, otherwise I find that I can't continue. And I think it's important to not be afraid to ask for some time off, because everyone needs that time off to take care of themselves and their own mental health, because you can't be doing your best work if you're starting to
feel
burn out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So with your busy periods, because they have hard deadlines, like, how long can they last for? Is it like 3 months, 1 month? Does it range?
I feel like there'll be a really busy period, like a month before the due diligence report is due. So that's usually the first part of an M&A deal, is the due diligence phase. And as part of that, we review a lot of documents, we do a lot of research, and we prepare a report. So before that report is due, there'll be a big push and a lot of late nights. So that might be like 2 to 3 weeks to a month.
Yeah, sure.
And
that's
then,
when you're going like really hardcore, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to it. Like, what do you mean by late hours and late nights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A recent report that I was working on with an associate in my team, we were in the office until 2:30 a.m. on 2 nights of that week. But then working from home for the rest of the week, we were still up until 11, 12, or 1 a.m. Just like continuously working on like the various aspects of the reports ourselves.
And when would you start up again the next day?
Like 7:30.
Oh my god! So do you feel like you go to bed, you wake up, and you log on?
Yeah.
Okay.
During those really busy periods, it does tend to feel like that's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm working, and then I stop working, and I eat, and I shower, and I sleep. And then I wake up, and I roll back to the computer. And I sign on again.
Those are your really intense periods. Do you feel like you can squeeze in time for like exercise or walks or no?
I find that during the really busy times, I love going on long walks.
Yeah, that's Jen's thing.
I love
She's the person, and like you're scrolling on your phone in the morning, and Jen's already gone on like a 15-kilometer walk, and it's like 7 a.m. I'm like, God damn it, Jennifer!
I really enjoy going on my long walks, but I find that during the really busy periods, there's just no time to like do those long walks. And if I do get extra time, for me, I find it's more important to get in like an extra hour's sleep. Because
to function.
Yeah.
Do you like meditate or squeeze in self-care throughout those busy periods, or do you feel like your self-care during those times are like getting sleep and just resting?
Yeah. I find that during the busy times, self-care is really just getting enough sleep. And remembering to breathe deeply while I'm working, because I find that when I'm really stressed, I start holding my breath.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then
that's like a type of meditation.
Yeah. Also just talking to people.
So, with the demands of your job and the sacrifices that I'm sure that you feel like you need to make for your career, how do you feel about that? And like, what do you feel like you're sacrificing at this stage of your career? I know that's a big question. It's a big one.
Especially during the busy periods, there are definitely lots of like sacrifices. because you're working for such long hours, that means that you have less time to do what you want to do. For example, seeing family and friends and spending quality time with the people you love and engaging in hobbies that you like doing. I feel like there's less time for that, obviously, when you're working really long hours. And for me, I get I guess my social battery I found has really decreased a lot in its capacity since I started working, because I guess during the work week I'm just constantly interacting with people and like emails and
it's a lot.
Zoom calls and it's like constant like dings from the Outlook. It's like so
you're always on,
always
engaged, always talking to someone.
Exactly.
Especially when you're introverted, you might not think that like interactions online can drain you, but they can.
They do.
They seriously can.
So on Sundays, I will just like go for my long walk.
Yes.
Do my chores. Clean my space. Prep my veggies. And like watch Netflix and just be alone, which I really enjoy, and it's like recharging myself and getting ready for the new week. But that means that I'm only left with now one day to like do the things I enjoy. So it does mean that I have to prioritize seeing the people who I love the most, or my close friends. And even with my family, I used to visit my parents at their home every weekend during law school.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, bye, Jen. See you Monday.
I was like, Jen's going home. Now I visit them maybe once a month to once every like 1.5 months. So it's definitely cut down significantly. But I do call them like very often, which I feel like provides me with a lot of comfort.
Really nice.
Even just calls. So definitely sacrifices. But at the same time, because I guess I care a lot about my career, so when I am spending a lot of time in my work, I don't feel like it's a waste of time or a waste of energy. Not at all. I do feel like it's like an excellent investment. It's like
of course.
setting myself up. I'm learning so much. I'm gaining so much experience. It doesn't feel like I'm making a sacrifice for nothing.
Do you feel like you can see yourself as a lawyer in 10 years' time? Let's say 35?
35.
Ish.
I think I do see myself still working as a lawyer when I'm
amazing.
35, but maybe not in private practice.
Ooh! Okay, interesting.
I'm thinking maybe around 35 or a bit later. I'm considering maybe moving in-house or to a different role. Something where the hours are a bit more stable, maybe. Just because I do want to like have more time to like focus on family, and I'm hoping I'll be married by that time, and like
hello, Min. Min, if you're watching.
No pressure.
Just kidding.
Who knows?
I want to plan a wedding. Oh man, that's so good.
I've also had serious thoughts about moving entirely into a different profession.
Oh my god, what would it be?
So I'm very interested in nutrition.
Yes.
I've thought about going back to uni to study nutrition.
Really?
And
Oh my god, have you been seriously considering this?
Seriously considering, not now, but maybe like in 10 years.
Yeah, sure.
Going back to uni to study and maybe becoming like a registered dietitian or
oh
like
my
a nutritionist.
God, that's amazing.
There's still so much more time. So if you are like on a career path and you're thinking, actually, it's not for me, or I'm not really enjoying it that much, or if you're even thinking, maybe I want to do something else. I feel like it's never gonna... I feel like there's always that fear that I've already invested so much time into my current career. It's like all those years at uni.
True.
Yeah.
But those are some costs.
Yeah. And there's still so much more time. So if you feel like you want to pivot, and of course, providing that you really think it through.
Yeah, research it.
Yeah, research it. Like, do your research.
Yeah, do your pros and cons list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am speaking from like a place of privilege, I guess, because.
And also, sorry. No.
There's not always that opportunity. It's like sometimes you really just need to hold a job for whatever reason, and that's like perfectly valid. But if the opportunity allows and if you can, then why not?
Now to the very, very last question, and this may not be related to work. It could be outside of work as well for you, but I would love to know what makes you feel inspired and feel like your best self.
I think that especially after a very busy period at work, what brings me back to life is indulging in a little self-care.
Yeah.
And for me, Jamie, you're not going to approve of this.
Bring it to me.
I do like spending a bit of money on nice things.
You say with so much guilt. No, you work hard for that moolah, man.
It's not planned into my budget.
Yeah.
It's
more...
From a
splurge account or no?
No.
Confession time.
I started a splurge account, but then I had to get rid of it because it made me feel so restricted, and I ended up splurging even more than I otherwise would.
Yeah. Fair.
So I will go window shopping, and then accidentally make a purchase. But I do like buying a nice face mask. Or like buying a nice mug. Like or like buying a pair of shoes.
That's nice.
I like spending money. I enjoy spending money.
It's interesting you say this because I think you are one of the most frugal people I know.
True.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. On a day-to-day basis, I live very frugally.
Jen's super frugal.
I will walk around the market to find the cheapest broccoli per kilo.
Yeah.
If it's $4.50 per kilo here, I will walk an extra K to get it for $4 per kilo.
Yeah. It's frugal living too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I measure the expense of anything by reference to how many bags of oatmeal I could buy.
Yeah.
$10 is 10 kilos of rolled oats.
Interesting. That's so funny.
Because it's just the easiest to measure. It's like $1 per kilo.
Oh, that's so fun. I do that with coffee. I'm like, that's 3 coffees.
That's 3. Yeah. I'd rather get 3 coffees.
Yeah.
But I do usually live very frugally, but when I'm feeling I need to, I'm willing to like splurge on myself, because I feel like at a time when I don't have a lot of responsibilities and I don't have kids and a family and I'm working hard for my money and I'm able to do so, it's like I'm just gonna treat myself.
Yes, you will.
I love that. Thank you for the support, baby. Yeah. So
I think really fair.
Buying nice things, treating myself inspires me.
Well, oh my gosh, that is a wrap. I am looking down and we've talked for an hour and a half.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm going to try to edit this down, but honestly, I had so much fun. So thank you to Jenn.
Thanks, Jamie, for having me.
No,
I had lots of fun as well.
I really love this, and I hope it will be helpful or at least interesting to listen to. So please let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more of this series. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye!